gentlemen, welcome to yet another Skål 732 Mumbai South Industry Insider event. We are glad to have this distinguished guest today. And this team, of course, the resource of time. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Nikhil. With expertise in the hospitality and renewable energy, began his career in the Indian Hotels Company Limited, Taj Group. He is now the owner of the award-winning Taj Aravali Resort Spa, Udaipur, and plans to expand this hotel. He was just talking about 170 plus keys to another 300. So this is a short chat that I've been having with him. Because I've got lots to get with Nikhil, but without much ado, I present you Nikhil and his team, ladies and gentlemen, for industry insight in terms of sustainability. And you're talking about hospitality and all things. Thank you, Nikhil.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me. It's an absolute honor to address such a conversation and to be humbled to be here. I am not an expert in anything, but I do have some experience, and I will share my experience with you. Knowledge is on Google, right? You don't need me to. So you can Google anything and everything. So I'm not going to tell you anything that you find on Google. I think it's very good knowledge. And I hope that what we talk about today will take something home, something new that you will hear about today. So if you don't mind, just sit and chat, right? And please stop me whenever you want. Let it be more conversational. It's not a lecture, it's more a discussion and a debate on a subject that I think, when something is talked about constantly, there's a lot of noise around it, you sort of tend to get insensitive, right? Sustainability is something like that. There's so much noise around it. सब लोग बोलते हैं प्रलय आ गया, कलयुग आ गया, world is going to end, and then you start thinking, what the hell? Okay, let it end. And therefore, all that noise, the real issue gets hidden. What is sustainability? What is happening to the world that should not be happening? And what can you and I do? Sometimes that problem is created that it's a Frankenstein slide. There was a Frankenstein slide. I can't do anything about it. Let the government do something. सरकार कुछ कर लेगी, मेरा नेबर कुछ कर लेगा, मेरा बड़ा भाई कुछ कर लेगा, मुझे करने की क्या जरूरत है? प्रॉब्लम इतना बड़ा है, मैं इतना छोटा हूँ, मैं क्या करूँ? But that is not the case. And as we talk more, as we explain to you what sustainability is all about, what we would like to do today is quickly touch upon what is sustainability. Because sometimes in all the noise, I think the meaning gets lost. And what can we do to ensure that this sustainability mantra that is being talked about, we all contribute to it in some way or the other. So let's start with the broad concept and then narrow it down. Because it's not that we don't do something theoretical. We would rather narrow it down to something that you can take home and say, okay, in my hotel I can do this, in my restaurant I can do this, in my clinic I can do that, at my house I can do this. So we all contribute towards making this planet more livable. This planet is not something that we inherited from the grandparents, something that you're borrowing from the land. You have to leave something behind for the planet. Because everything that you do, everything that damages this planet, this earth, is not going to affect you. It's going to affect your son, your daughter, their children. And therefore what we leave behind, our legacy, should be at least equal to, if not better, than what we got from our parents. And if we have that motto in mind and that object in mind, that this earth has to be left greener, more livable than when I came onto this earth, I think we would have fulfilled some objective of what sustainability. So that is the United Nations, and we talk about them because when they have made rules or they made principles that apply to all over the world. They created 17 principles of sustainability. And they created something called Sustainable Development Goals. They called SDGs. So they said every business that is conducted must take care of these 17 goals, some of them, not all of them. And anything that is done should not go against these goals. These are 17 goals that they talk about. And those 17 goals essentially are, they're like in front of us, you can read out quickly, so they will read out about each of them. There should be no poverty on the earth. That's the first one. There should be zero hunger. There should be good health and well-being. Quality education, we got some education right there. Gender equality, that's why I wanted the ladies to actually come in front because it's like we've sort of asked you to sit behind. And then clean water and sanitation. Affordable and clean energy, which is my area of expertise. We'll talk more about number 7, because that's a subject close to my heart and something that affects all of us. Number 8, decent work and economic growth. Number 9 is industry innovation and infrastructure. Number 10 is reduced inequalities. Number 11 is sustainable cities and communities. Number 12 is responsible consumption and production. Climate action, life below water, which means marine life. We tend to throw all our kachra into the sea. So this is one of the objectives of government goals is to keep our water bodies clean. Life on land, so that's what we really needed to talk about. And the place and so the strong judicial institutions. Justice has to be seen to be delivered and not just delivered. And the last one is partnerships for achieving it. So there are 17 broad strokes in the UN has given. And now if we zero it down to what in India what has happened. So the United Nations said, so the whole world do this. So every country sat back and said, okay, what can I do? What do I need to do? And what India did was this. India said we become 9 principles out of the 17. And then the Indian government said, every business that is there must ensure that the 9 principles of business are met with. Now, how does the government of India know you are doing it? So now, recently in 2023, the government has introduced something called the Business Responsibility and Sustainability Report, BRSR for short. Initially, it's covering the 1,000 top companies and market cap. These 1,000 companies have to every year, along with their annual report, give something called the BRSR. And that BRSR covers these 9 principles. And it talks about whether the report will talk about, and the Renewable will explain more about that. What is this company? Let's say Reliance Industries, or let's say Larsen and Toubro. Those of you who wrote 90 hours a day, or 90 hours a week. So, and I stare at my wife more than 1 hour. But that's a topic that
Only on Sundays, I hope.
So large corporates are supposed to report this to their shareholders, the stakeholders. And if they are not doing things that they are supposed to do, then they pay higher interest on their debt, they don't get equity, they don't get incentives from government. So there are a lot of disincentives for not doing what is supposed to. It's not just a report. It's not something so therefore we want to put this before you, because today you may not be having this. It's just the thousands of things. But sooner or later, this is going to percolate to the smallest businesses in India. Every company will have to report under the PRS. And what is this going to be? Something that you must understand. Because the more you are prepared in advance, the better it is. Like 9 points. Yeah.
Yes. So before I go, how many of you all already knew what are the SDGs? Did you all know already what are these sustainable development goals? You all heard the buzzwords sustainability, ESG. So I'll just go back to this slide. So like Mr. Nikhil rightly presented that there is a section for which these SDGs were developed, because we see that there is massive disparity across. So I'll just sum it up that these 17 development goals, that is the SDGs, are aimed to poverty, inequality, for your health, because we can see when we talk about, you want mine? Yeah. Speak up.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to come in front, please?
Get your chair.
Get your chair.
I'll get your chair. Please come. Come.
Come in front.
Come. You can offer my seat to one of the ladies because there was a request from the guest speaker.
Yes, of course.
Actually, speak louder. You have to step
Go,
back.
go, go, go.
I just
Step back.
all those three chairs are for the ladies. Please go in front.
Please come ahead.
I'm in front. There's a place here. One is the front here.
Now that we have got all settled, I hope I'm audible. Yes. Because beyond this, I cannot increase my decibels, I think. Still, I'll be angry in the
You know
most
better.
calmest way.
You know better.
Yeah, so the question that I put for some time back was, how many of you have already heard about SOPs prior to coming over here? Can you all raise your hand? So at least we have a few hands who are already aware about these sustainable development goals, that's what we call them. And as Mr. Nikhil rightly said, everyone came together and that's how they decided that in case globally we wish to empower people, we need to reduce inequality because there is a lot of hype around inequality, whether it is social disparities that we call it, to ensure health. Now, since we live in metropolitan, we are not aware of the state of various parts of India where health is a major challenge. When we talk about education, which although it said is available to all, but still there is a challenge, and well-being for protecting our environment, which eventually we leave it as a legacy for the future generations. Now, what exactly this is talking us to do is, it is asking us to forge partnerships. So with these sustainable development goals that we have, we emphasize on global collaboration. We are looking to promote economic growth, and then we are also looking at climate action. I hope we all know that every second day we feel that this was not the climate a few years back, suddenly it's too hot.
What happened in San Francisco, Los Angeles last week, I think, is a classic example of human, man-made, man-created calamities. And it was horrible. I don't know if you saw the videos going on social media of all the houses getting burned down. And that would not have happened had one simple thing not been done. They planted palm trees in that geography. In that geography, palm trees do not grow. And they do not grow for a certain reason. So when you plant palm trees and those palm trees become tall and then they catch fire, then they spread the fire far and wide. You can't control it. That is why most of California was shrubbery. There were no palms. Nature made it that way. But then man said, no, I am going to make a hotel called the Palms. Then I want a palm tree there. You planted a palm tree. And then see what has happened. So when you play with nature, this is what happens. That is why the goals that are set are simply to ensure that you do not play around with something that God has given you and something that you need to preserve and not destroy. And these are classic examples of which we have to learn. Sometimes we think, वहाँ पे वो हमने क्या करना? Then 5,000 miles away. That's what happened to us. But it comes in many forms. So I think these are classic reminders of why we need to do what we're talking about.
So it's like in short, not family thing. Now these are various things that globally people are starting getting into, that is green buildings, so that whatever the output is, all the material, construction, everything is going. Smart education, so that students and new generation is able to at least consolidate or take care of what is happening. We're talking about social responsibility, water management, sustainability, smart health, e-governance, natural resource management, sustainable transportation. Now what is sustainable transportation? Is wherein we look at the emissions. We are emitting a lot because there are too many vehicles. So what exactly are we contributing to? Why are we talking about carpooling? And the most they segregating their waste? There are tons and tons, and how actually are they contributing to building the environment or actually demolishing the environment? So next we talk about as a community, what is it that you're going to be doing? So this is something very that you can total, like you have to organize your stakeholders, you have to develop a community. What we are doing today is developing a community vision. Then we have to establish our goals, each and every one. Once we go back with the data that we have today, we establish our
all of you about carbon footprint.
yes.
So I think that establishing goals starts from there, and we talk a little about it later on how we can help you to be as a company that to measure your carbon footprint, meaning your individual carbon footprint or your company's carbon footprint, and therefore understand how much you are polluting the environment, and then what do you need to do to either reduce it, mitigate it, or make it zero. So our prime minister talks about the net zero economy in 2070, very ambitious, but I think that is, if each one of us try to do that, we can probably reach that stage, but each one of us must have this net zero concept in mind. कि मैं कितना पोल्यूट कर रहा हूँ, मुझे क्या करना है इस पोल्यूशन को कम करने के लिए, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, without sacrificing, without doing things that I don't want to do, but in my normal day-to-day life. So we talk about that both the end of the day.
So then, just like we spoke about establishing goals, assess and asset about identify approaches to add green structure. Now everything these days is talked about in green color. They're expanding your greenwashing or there is green finance, everything. So why is it that we are trying to flaunt the green colors that we have over there? Then we are about factoring the brownfields and hazards. What are brownfields? These are lands that are already used, which how exactly will you be using it, or it's like the recycle in terms of land, whether the land is already being used. Then plan for long-term operations and maintenance that we need to try to develop strategies for zoning funding, and then identify available public resources, eventually have to fall back to that, and monitor and measure progress. Without monitoring, without measuring your progress, you will actually not know where you started and where you are heading towards. Now let us talk about the 5 P's of sustainability. These are the most talked about P's when we talk about. So we have a lot of jargon when we talk about sales. So these are about sustainability. One is prosperity. Generally we are always blessing that we should be prosperous, but how do we come to this or drive to this prosperity is by finishing economic, social, technological, everything that we do. When we are talking about partnerships, how do we forge into partnerships? How do we collaborate? So we were just talking to Mr. Carter and also Mr. Nikhil Morsawala. He said collaboration is the one word that we should be looking at. How do we together using collaboration and partnerships for the well-being of the system. Then we are talking about peace. That is also something that we all know. Planet. Mr. Nikhil has told what will happen if we tackle our planet. And people, it is all of us who are going to take this vision forward. Maybe after we can wait, maybe once we go. So now how does this percolate into the industrial language? So now our company has said that the top 1,000 companies have to have a BRSR reporting. What we are doing is, all the companies do have their accounting in place, but how do we look at that in terms of sustainability? So you have your annual report, you have various reporting. Now BRSR is what has come into the picture because there earlier also, for the last 3-4 years, it is something that companies have been mandated to do. Now we talk about the principles adopted by the government. So here, these are the key elements of the BRSR, where there are 9 principles. Out of that, principle 6 is the most essential one because it talks about emissions. But let us not skip the other one, where the principle 1 is talking about the ethics that are there in an organization. So how do you have integrity, transparency, and accountability? Second principle is talking about how do you deliver safe and sustainable product. So when we are looking at product, earlier it used to be that use it once and throw it. But now there is an entire thought that goes behind it. If you're creating a product, you also have to look at it after life. So whether you're recycling it, reusing it, what will be the entire life cycle
call it a circular economy. New term that is used where you look at the from birth to death of a product. So if you're in this plastic bottle, which I should not be holding actually, what's going to happen to this after it hits the water? And how much is it going to harm the earth? It is going to be recycled, it is going to go back to the factory, it is going to go to the earth, it is going to be landfill, it is going to emit carbon that will destroy nature. So the circular economy for every product that you make, if you are making a product, then the government says you must look at it right from the time you produce it till it is disposed of properly. And not just like we do today, with the Lehman Aldia, where you see now full of all our crap that affects people in life.
The third one is about employees. So how do you prioritize employee well-being and also see to it that there is equality?
She's asking them to work with classic example. And I come back to that because sometimes just the concept of hard work is so misunderstood that we say that I remember when I was a kid I used to work for Taj and some of the people here were my friends in Taj. And one guy used to stand out at the empty office knowing 7 बजे मुझे कहते हुए कौन leave the office I stand outside at a file. I thought, hey bala, tu kya kar raha hai? So I'm working, okay. So like that concept of hard work, where technology is a completely different actually. So I think what the LNP chairman did not really address is that when your computers, phones are connected 24 hours, I don't work 40 hours a week. I work 24/7 because even when I'm sleeping, if my phone is next to me and I'm getting an email, I'm wired. And I'm wired and stressed because I'm wired. So you can't look at 8 hours in the office or 3 hours in the office and say you're working only 3 hours. I'm working 24 hours because I'm connected. So that difference we have to understand as employers and we are businessmen. So we should not think that 9 बजे आके 5:45 बजे चला गया, 6 बजे क्यों नहीं गया, 15 मिनट पहले क्यों गया. These are all I think old concepts. Now with technology we are wired all the time.
And when leaders of organizations make such statements, it really affects the employees that are working because the mental challenges, the mental breakdowns that they have, that is tremendous. So you need to be very conscious of how your entire organization is benefiting and not just by making statements. And next we are talking about the stakeholders, that is fourth wherein we are talking about engaging and empowering all the stakeholders. That is how we can do it by contributing to their mental well-being as well. Then we are talking about human rights, which is about respect to human rights. We are talking about environment, that is the basics I was talking about, when we wish to minimize the environmental impact. So the damage that is going to happen, how is it that we can stop by minimizing? Then we are talking about advocacy. What policies is a company having? Now we hear a lot about POSH, we hear a lot about COXO, we hear about a lot of product fees and
The further with POSH, Costco, terms.
so what exactly are the company's policies that also need to be declared so that all of the stakeholders are on board, are on the same page? Next we talk about the growth, that is the eighth principle, wherein promotion, inclusive and equitable growth is taken care of. And the last one is value chain. Every company is connected to multiple value chain partners. So if you are a conglomerate, how is it that you see that all these small kinds of value chain partners, how are they contributing and how in return can you enable them to get into this green vision? Now these are some disclosures and reporting guidelines that the government has mandated. Now what exactly do these entail? So for all the companies that wish to do the BRSR reporting, first of all it is mandatory for the top 1,000 market cap of companies that we are looking at. And there are two formats that the government has provided. One is the BRSR comprehensive, wherein a company has to disclose all the details other than the financial ones in the BRSR. So that is the comprehensive, whether it is about your employees, about your quality, or emission level. The second one is BRSR light. So why did we introduce light? Because if consciously a management wants to jump on the wagon when they say, I'm not mandated to, but I wish to voluntarily join this journey. So that is where the BRSR
So in medical terms, doctor, if I might draw an analogy, one is where you do food executive checkup, where you go at 9 o'clock in the morning to the hospital, get everything done, go home at 5 o'clock, and the whole 30-40 days before that day at the home. One is, yeah, let me take my lipid down, go to the other organ, thoda heart में pain हो रहा है, so I just do a lipid profile or sugar, call the guy home, give my blood. So typically, you know, that's why for BRSO we tell companies that for your health, what do you do? Do you do only when you are sick? Do you do a health checkup only when you are sick? No, you do it regularly, because even though you are feeling fine, something may be wrong, you don't know, and therefore you do a checkup. This is something similar. You are looking at the health of the company. Is your business in good health? Is your business in good shape? Is your business doing what it should be doing? So don't wait for the government to tell you. So like you don't want to wait for the doctor to tell me that boss, tu mar jayega, ja checkup ke liye. Similarly, you don't want the government to tell you, boss, your business will die. Do this. You do it yourself. You do it voluntarily. You check whether your business is actually healthy or not. It may be making money for all you know. It's like this guy who's on the treadmill, six-pack, and then suddenly collapses and dies because something is wrong with him. He never went for his checkup. So this thing, business is similar to your health. Business health is similar to your physical, mental, and spiritual health. You've got to do a checkup on whether your business is on the right track. Is it healthy? Balance sheet की बात नहीं कर रहे. Are your people happy? Are you making society a better society? Are you governing well? Are you contributing to the environment? What are you doing is what you need to check. And that's why we always tell people, don't do by what government says. Do what you think is right. And does it cost you a lot of money? No. It's like your medical checkup, right? You don't pay for your nose. Simple 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 you get it in the court. This is something similar.
So then there are three formats in which it is there. So it is divided into various sections. It is divided into various sections. I will not get into more details because that is the reporting part of it where there are sections.
We charge for that.
We have to actually guide you through those details. And then there is something that is called as the BRSR code. Now when we are talking about code, we are talking about, okay, some organization today, no company is currently getting, completely into this. So what exactly we are looking at 5 key elements where at least you start reporting on the code format. That's the reason the BRSR code was also answered. Now there are some statutory compliance timelines for these. So what is the government asking you to do when you are looking at the BRSR timeline? So we talked 150 listed companies, they need to be reporting it mandatory by 2024. They have already started doing so, and that was the last week we talked about. Now 24, 25, 250 companies, so 100 of them are being added over here, and the top 500 till 27, they will have to mandatory, that they will have to give their BRSR report, so that when that kind of data is gathered, that is when action can be implemented. Today, even the government is clueless as to what is happening until data is collated, collected, a lot of statistics and analysis is done. You can start having the various steps that will be taken ahead. And
So this is only as far as the reporting is concerned. The principle 634, right? That is the one part. So what happens is, I thought I would talk about something that's practical, something that you guys can implement, and that's really. So there is something, we all know about solar rooftop, we know about wind energy, we know about biochemistry, but how does it apply to me? What can I do about it? Can I put a windmill outside my window? Can I put a solar panel on top of my building? What is it that I can do to do all these things that I have told you? It is feasible, viable, it is practical. I stay in Mumbai, the terrace पे तो सारा antenna लगा हुआ है, क्या कपड़े सूख रहे हैं, और how can I put a solar panel there? So from an energy perspective, renewable energy perspective, solar is one of the most preferred options because India is blessed with that much of sunshine. Right? We don't have that much wind because some of our coastlines, just for information, the minimum wind velocity that is required for windmill is 17 kilometers per hour. So if you map India, it's not everywhere that you get 17 kilometers per hour. Therefore, wind energy is not viable. It will get that sort of wind velocity. Sun is everywhere, except Delhi. So, nobody from that days and days. So the sun is there, and we have solar energy as a very good option. What started as a rooftop solar has now transited into something called green green energy open access. What is open access? Open access means that you can put up your solar plant anywhere in your state. It means you are in Mumbai and your hotel, let's say, is in Udaipur, and you are using, let's say, 1 megawatt of power per hour. Measured enough per hour. So what do? You don't have enough space on top of the roof, you don't have land here. So the government says, okay, you go to Nagpur, you go to Udaipur, you go to Kolhapur, you go to Satara, you go to Sangli. Buy barren land, put a solar plant over there, and whatever you generate there, I'll give an offset over here. Nicola. That's what open access. So earlier, open access was available only to those consumers who consume more than 1 megawatt hours per annum. So it ruled out a lot of mid-sized hotels, a lot of restaurants, a lot of clinics, a lot of ATMs, bank ATMs, because the consumption was less than that. So they could not avail of that open access facility. Last year they reduced that ceiling to that floor to 200 kilowatt per hour. That typically covers a 30-40 room hotel, large restaurant, ground plus 3-story building. So even if you have 100 kilowatt consumption, you are allowed to make use of this open access. So if you come to us and say, hey boss, I got this hotel and I'm paying 13-14 rupees. How much do you average pay on electricity per unit?
What should be?
10 to 12 rupees.
Above 300, it's approximately 11 point something.
11 plus, right? 11 point something. So to compare it to solar, we go ballpark. A solar generator, solar energy generator will sell you power at 4 rupees per unit. But there are some duties and levies put by the government that takes your landed cost to 6.5 to 7 rupees. But then straight away there is a saving, because if you are paying 11 rupees or 12 rupees, then I'm giving power at 4 rupees plus you pay 3 rupees to the government, 7. So straight away saving 5 rupees. So it's a no-brainer, right? So this is something that we do as a company. We have a solar park in Udaipur of 25 megawatts. We are expanding into 50 megawatts, where we have clients who come and say, I want 1 megawatt, somebody says I want 100 kilowatt, or 200 kilowatts. So we substitute your power. And not only does it save you money, it gets you green credits. Now what you are doing is, what power are you using? You are using green power. You are reducing the pollution that getting into the atmosphere, because you are no longer using power that comes from coal, oil or gas. These are the three most polluting raw materials that go into generating power. So green energy open access has now become a very, very good option for most of small businesses. And for example, Dr. Batra's business, I would say every clinic that he's got today wouldn't have qualified earlier. Now under the new rule, you can actually say, boss, मेरा इतने का बिल आता है कितना कम करके दे. And then there are green financing options, and I think Praveen can talk to you more about that, about green financing, where पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? How much will it cost me to put it up? Will I put money in my business, or will I put money into a solar plant? So there are various financing options available where your contribution is minimal. There are people who will finance it for you. You will, at the same time, get solar power. You will save money on your electricity bill, and you will have a green product. There are a lot of benefits that come out of going in for this. Now, is this available only for solar? The answer is no. It can go for wind, biomass, small hydro. So all these benefits are available. Anything is renewable. But solar is the easiest to do, easiest to implement. And because most of our businesses are daytime, so one rider is that power that is used in the night cannot be substituted by power that is generated in the day. That makes common sense, right? So what happens is, typically if you are working 3 shifts, then you want hybrid. Then you want solar and wind, because wind will take care of the night consumption, solar will take care of day consumption. But if you are an office, if you are a clinic, if you are a restaurant that works from say 11 AM to 11 PM, you're fine. More or less fine. So you may not be able to go entire consumption, but 70-80% of the consumption can be covered. And so you can reduce your per unit cost from 11.5 rupees to 6.5-7 rupees in Maharashtra. I'm thinking of Maharashtra only. This is a very state-driven subject. So if you go to Karnataka, for example, Karnataka is the most RE-friendly company, renewable energy-friendly state in India today. It can be as low as 4 rupees, 5 rupees. Some other states are not that friendly, but Maharashtra is more or less very balanced in its approach. And so that's where you are today. That's why you are 6.5, 7 rupees per unit if you're going for either solar or wind or small hydro or biomass. So, and we have an expertise in this. So any of you want anything to do with that part of the business, I'm approachable anytime. You have my number. You guys can call me. We can give you a solution for your power consumption and for your power bills. Anywhere in India, not necessarily Maharashtra. We work pan India. So if you have branches like Dr. Batra has all over India and some of you people, I think you work across states. We can help you in any state in the country. So I thought I would just bring this particular thing in, which is specific to what we can do. Example, I don't know if you want to go, but we did some audits of some hotels in Mumbai. So we mapped the energy consumption of hotels, what are the various parts of the hotel power consumption, the ventilation, lighting, air conditioning, AC. So we have done a lot of. So you know what is energy audit, right? Most of you would be knowing what is energy audit. So that's the first step. We get into a hotel or any business premise and we do an audit for you, and we tell you what's maybe wrong with your electrical system, and we give you suggestions on how to save costs. So we just did a very iconic building in Udaipur, not a hotel, a very iconic building, supposed to be platinum grade in terms of green energy, and we give them a solution where I'm spending 16 lakh rupees. Hear this one, 16 lakh rupees. They will save 50 lakh rupees a year. You can imagine that small changes that can be done to improve your power consumption and making it more efficient is so critical. And I think that sometimes you tend to, because you're such a big building and you're paying crores of rupees, they care like that. But at the end of the day, when you see it in terms of the input-output ratio, spending 16 lakhs one time, saving you 50 lakhs every year, plus the reduction in consumption, that much less, your carbon footprint that is getting in that much less. These are very critical aspects of. So that's why I said, and this building did the audit in spite of being platinum grade. They did not have done it. As I told you, do a checkup. You may think you are fine, but you are not. That is a classic example. A platinum grade building, we did not have done the audit, hired us, we did the audit, and this is just 2 months old, and we gave them the solution. They were like, wow, it's good. So these are the things that we do for hotels. We can get into your system, do an audit for you, tell you what can be done, and then we don't ask you to spend money that you cannot recover. The ROI is typically, I would say, 10 months to 18 months. So whatever you spend will be recovered by you from your savings within 18 months. That's the normal trend that we have seen, unless your system is so bad that you have to spend tons of money. But if you are okay, if you are a reasonably not very old building and not very old system in your operations, you will recover your this type of investment within 18 months. That's the broad trend we have seen. So I think this more or less, and we have lots of data, and I'll share the presentation with you. Anybody is interested, how much you can save on lighting, how much you can save on. Doc, I'll give you the presentation. You can probably circulate it because hotel specific data है इसमें. So whoever is owning hotels, they want to have a look at this, and we can then anybody wants to reach out, we can definitely. So you want to do green financing of it? Yeah.
Right. So we also do software for banks, and this is where this is how we got introduced to the ESG part of it. Wherever we used to talk about finance, there was always green finance coming up in any conference. So just to dive a little further into that, we try to understand what is it really about. So we can now see that the banks have mandates from governments itself that their portfolio should consist of a certain amount of financing into green projects. So which means, just like during the COVID, there was a mandate to give money off to SMEs. Similarly, there are mandates around this. And that's why it's kind of an incentive for you. So you also get a reduced rate of interest. So people try and do those projects. I mean, see, at the end of the day, going green is a little more expensive. Okay? And the government is trying to incentivize that. So if you buy an EV vehicle, the vehicle is actually more expensive, right? And the government is trying to incentivize. Something similar happens even with green projects. And this is where the banks come in, and that's why this particular part is called green finance.
Do they call it impact finance?
Impact financing is also for other projects, not just the green part of it. Like, it will cover social impact, environment, social governance, all of that put together. Yes, that's also another term for it. And I think consumers are also becoming conscious now. You will see mutual fund portfolios that are green portfolios. There are certain people who will only put their funds in green portfolios, because that is their belief. Like he said, how an individual can make a difference. This is a very small way how an individual can make a difference. Earlier it would be, let's say, people not investing in companies that are into tobacco, ITC, right? Now it's, I will invest only in companies that are green conscious, and mutual funds also manage their portfolio that way. So there's a lot. See, at the end of it, everything is money, right? All of this will be successful only if there is a money benefit that people are getting, or a discount without which it won't work. So there are many aspects of finance that where sustainability is very, very important.
So yes, you raised a very good point about impact financing, the word impact. So just to take you back to sustainability. Sustainability has got three legs to stand on. One is environment, the other is social, and the third is governance. We spoke a lot about environment because that's our subject. It's our specialty, it's our skill. But sustainability covers society, there is a social part, the S part, the D part is governance. So that's where you have ethics and whistleblower policies and corporate governance and compliances and those types of things, which are a different subject altogether. So when you do BRSR, all three are covered. It's not just environment. And that's where actually we come in and we are trying to give a more holistic approach, because there is no company today in India except maybe the big four, the Ernst & Young of the world, who probably have a practice that sort of has an overarching skill set across all three. But if you go down mid-tier, and you can't afford Ernst & Young, right? So you sort of go down the value chain, then you don't get that expertise on what should I do for social, what does social mean? Social means child labor, women development, that's inclusiveness, no sex discrimination, gender discrimination, so on and so forth. So that also needs a certain amount of expertise which comes from a certain type of people. So when you look at a business, you look at these three parts, and environment, social and governance, and environment being the most harmful today, which creates a big impact on what you do. The other two are there, but the expertise is still being built in India, and I think that will come very soon.
I have a question here. In the environmental piece, you talk about when you do audits for companies, you say you use some software, you have consulting companies to do and measure.
Yes.
What is it enlightening?
So it's all about getting into your entire electrical system, your heating system, your boilers, your air conditioners, your VFDs, your everything that is to do with your electrical supply. Each and every part of that, we are measuring instruments which engineers come in, they check whether they are meeting the parameters that they are supposed to meet, or are they inefficient, is something happening that should not be happening, with power leaking out, more power being supplied, are your equipment being damaged because of that? It's not just about power, it's about damaging equipment also. So we have a whole team of people who do that, with machines and things we need and so on. And then we give an entire report with the whole everything calculated, so you know what you're doing. Yeah.
This may be a little unrelated. You said the building was platinum grade. So what are the other grades, and on what basis is it graded?
So then there are green buildings, and so there's a green building certification that happens, and in that there are grades. Platinum is supposed to be the highest.
Okay.
And so express stars, we did express stars, so there's no secret about it. but they are one of the most conscious. They belong to the embassy of
Yes.
Bangalore. So there was certain deficiency that had gone unnoticed, which we pointed out. And so if we get into a normal building, it would probably suggest almost a 6. We have seen a 3 to 8% drop in power consumption after we come in and suggest changes. So your energy consumption drops by 3 to 8% by making those changes and by investing some money in those changes. But that is the ROI is about 18 months. You get your money back in 18 months time, more or less. So that about sums up from my side.
Yeah.
So I think.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now whenever we go abroad, we always think, the paper is made of wood, right? What
Wood.
wood, the paper, what we use it on is how it is made of wood, right? So when we go abroad, we always find, when the toilet papers are used so much, there's no what it is, why it is so, because we use a lot of paper general around, what we do is manufacture all these toilet papers. In all the Western countries, you find only toilet papers. No water is used.
But again, this is the end of life, this is the recycling thing. What happens is that this is degradable, this paper that they use, the material that they use, gets degraded in such a way that it goes back into the soil. So earlier what used to happen, that paper used to clog the drain, that paper used to not degrade. So the material that they use for that paper is called environment friendly, because when you dispose it off, it degrades well and goes back into the soil without damaging it.
But still they can, give a facility of water, which is like.
Water is scarce.
But they should,
And it's minus 40 degrees.
They can make it,
Then to warm the water, you use power will come from coal. It's a whole Jamila.
We need to wind up now.
Just a statement.
Last
In fact, the European countries now, they are all developing the concept of B-days.
Developing.
That's the newest B-days.
We did, yes, we did.
Finally,
Eats and water.
they don't want to sign paper there for. On that happy note, thank you very much. May I request our lady member, to please present a bouquet of flowers from one of the photos to others.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for patiently to a very boring subject. I hope you were able to add to your knowledge a little bit, and please reach out to us for anything. I was looking over the charges, no strings attached. Dr. Batraya owns a hotel in Udaipur called Taj Aravali. Please feel free to visit his hotel.
Now we're going to have to bring all of them there.
Yes, that's the spirit. No, but please, the next time I heard something about going to Mahabaleshwar and all that. Udaipur आओ यार. Mahabaleshwar से क्या कर रहे हो?
One more trip, we'll do it together.
Yes.
On behalf of the club, may I present you this certificate of appreciation for this.
Oh, very good. Thank you very much.
And I now request Jason to please give a formal vote of thanks to Jason. Our senior Jason, yes.
Stand here for the order.
Junior
Thank you, sir, for spending your time with your team to come and enlighten us about this, something really new. And thanks to Dr. Batra, every time there's something new that's coming up and increasing our, you have to say it also in keep learning. So that's really good. Thank you so much. And again, you've told us, all our members, that anyone has any request can come to you. So want you share your
Yes.
this thing will be really beneficial to all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Before we close, may I just introduce my dear friend, Rajesh Akai. Pleasure's mine. All right, we are now, the meeting is now adjourned, closed. We will meet next month. The whole yearly calendar is with you, right up to the end. We have just one or two gaps for speakers, which also we're trying to fill up. But the whole year is already sold out, if I may say, and hopefully it will always be a houseful. So thank you very much for being here.
We are here to still be for some time to actually talk to you on a personal level. We can all move out and use the space outside before Skalleagues throws us out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.